A paycheck feeds the body, but vision, that feeds the future. And until you're willing to trade short-term comfort for long-term clarity, wealth will always remain just beyond your reach. And here's what I've learned. Life doesn't reward the realists, it rewards the bold, the clear, and the committed. It pays according to the size of your thinking. Now, don't misunderstand me. Working hard is important, but you don't get wealthy just by working more. No, you get wealthy by thinking better, by learning to apply strategy, not just sweat. Strategy is what allows one man to work 4 hours and earn what another earns in 40. It's not effort alone, it's direction. And that direction is set by your philosophy. If you study the rich, you'll find habits, morning rituals, investment discipline, clear goals, personal growth. But if you study the average, you'll often find hopes, vague wishes, dreams with no dates. And here's the truth. Success always leaves clues, but you've got to be willing to look in the mirror first, because that's where the first clue lives. It begins with how you think. And that's exactly what we're going to uncover today. The habits, the philosophies, and the small mindset shifts that separate the wealthy from the struggling. Not in theory, but in practice. Let's begin. Think about this. An average person wakes up just in time to meet obligations. Alarm clock at 7:30, out the door by 8, and into traffic by 8:15. No time to think. No space to breathe. No moment to reflect. And certainly no plan. That's reaction mode. But the wealthy? They rise before the rest. Not because they have to, but because they choose to. That first hour is sacred. They guard it fiercely. Why? Because they know that the way you begin your day often determines how you live your day. I used to begin my mornings with news and coffee until I realized I was feeding my brain fear, confusion, and someone else's agenda before I ever fed it clarity or purpose. So I made a shift. I started waking up earlier, sometimes an hour, sometimes 2. I'd review my goals, not just financial, but personal too. Health, relationships, character. I'd read something worthwhile. A few pages from a good book can do wonders for your thinking. And then I'd write just a few thoughts, lessons from yesterday, intentions for today. That quiet time became my launch pad. Wealth is not just about action. It's about aligned action. It's not about doing more things. It's about doing the right things in the right order for the right reasons. And to do that, you need space. You need clarity. You need the silence before the storm. The wealthy know this. That's why they plan their day before others even wake. They write down their top 3 priorities. They schedule their effort. They visualize the outcomes. They're not guessing, they're steering. I once asked a mentor, "What's the most valuable hour of your day?" Without hesitation, he said, "The first one." Not because he made money in that hour, but because that hour made the rest of the day productive, focused, and meaningful. That's where the value began. Now, you don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. or run 10 miles, but you do need a routine, a ritual, a time where you say, "This moment is mine." No phones, no emails, just you and your goals. Think about your vision. Review your progress. Prime your mind for greatness, because when the morning is anchored in purpose, the rest of the day follows suit. So don't start your mornings in a rush, reacting to the world. Start them in reflection, building your own. Wealthy thinking begins long before the market opens, long before meetings start, long before the world knocks at your door. It starts in the silence of intention, in the discipline of early purpose. Don't leave your day to chance design it. Then go live it. Most people go through life handling money the way their parents did, or worse, the way their peers do. They inherit habits, opinions, and emotions about money without ever questioning where those beliefs came from. And I've seen it happen too often. Someone earns more, but they don't build wealth because their philosophy about money is weak, unclear, or borrowed. Let me tell you something that changed my life. It's not what you earn that determines your future. It's what you believe about money that does. See, everyone has a philosophy about money. The problem is, most haven't taken the time to define it. For some, money is evil. For others, it's elusive. For the poor thinker, money is something to spend quickly. For the wise, money is a tool, something to manage, multiply, and direct toward purpose. If you want to change your financial future, don't start by asking how much money you can make. Ask what you believe about money in the first place. I remember when I was broke. I'd get a paycheck and before I knew it, it was gone. Rent, groceries, a new jacket I didn't need, maybe a dinner out to feel better about how little I had left. Then one day I heard a mentor say, "Wealth isn't a number, it's a mindset." That got me. I started writing down what I believed about earning. Was it hard? Was it limited? Was it a gift? Then I wrote down what I believed about spending. Did I spend to feel better, to keep up with others, or did I spend with purpose? You see, money doesn't just respond to effort, it responds to clarity. And when you don't know what you believe, money slips through your fingers like water. But when you build a strong philosophy, money begins to serve you. It starts working for you, not just passing through you. Now, my personal money philosophy evolved. I decided earning was a reward for value. That made me focus on becoming more valuable. I decided spending should be intentional, not emotional. That gave me control. I decided giving was a seed, not a sacrifice. That made me generous. And I decided investing was about buying freedom, not just returns. That made me consistent. With those beliefs in place, my decisions changed. And when decisions change, outcomes follow. You don't need a finance degree to be wealthy. You need a personal framework, a set of beliefs that guide you when emotions run high and temptations run wild. Most people lose money not because they lack income, but because they lack conviction. They don't know what they stand for, so they fall for every shiny object. So take the time. Sit down and design your money philosophy. What does wealth mean to you? How do you want to earn it? How will you use it? What's enough and what's waste? What's a tool and what's a trap? Answer these questions and you'll find your path. Because wealth at its core is not just built through hustle, it's built through wisdom. And wisdom begins with belief. One of the most underrated habits I ever picked up was keeping a journal. Not just a diary of thoughts, but a personal wealth journal, a place to document lessons, financial decisions, insights, and philosophies. Most people never track their thinking, so they keep repeating the same errors. But I found that once you start writing things down, you begin to sharpen your awareness, and with awareness comes clarity. And with clarity comes better decisions. And those better decisions, they start to multiply into wealth. Now let me tell you why this is powerful. Life moves fast. And in the rush of earning, spending, paying bills, and juggling responsibilities, we often miss the patterns. We don't slow down to think about what worked and what didn't. We make a decision that costs us money, but instead of learning from it, we move on until we make it again. A wealth journal stops that cycle. It becomes a mirror. It reflects back to you your growth, your gaps, and your guiding truths. Early on in my career, I used to carry a small notebook with me everywhere. If I heard a powerful quote, I wrote it down. If I had a conversation with a mentor that struck a nerve, I captured the insight. When I made a poor financial decision, I didn't just move on. I recorded what led to it. Was I emotional, rushed, uninformed? Writing it down helped me catch myself next time. Over time, I started seeing patterns. That journal became more than notes, it became my blueprint for personal wealth. See, most people don't reflect, they react. But wealth isn't built through reaction, it's built through intention. The wealth journal helps you slow down and become intentional. It gives you a place to think, to ask questions like, what am I learning about money? Or, what habits are helping or hurting my progress? Or, where did I handle that decision well? Or, what must I never do again? And here's the beauty, your memory fades, but your journal remembers. 5 years from now, you can open to a page that reminds you of a hard-earned lesson. Or you can revisit a moment when your thinking changed. That record becomes a treasure chest of personal transformation. Every successful person I know has a method for capturing ideas because they know wealth doesn't just grow from action, it grows from thought. A wealth journal isn't complicated. You don't need perfect grammar, just honesty. You don't need an hour a day, just a few minutes. But if you're faithful to it, you'll find that it sharpens your thinking, deepens your awareness, and aligns your actions with your values. And over time, that alignment leads to results. Remember, money is attracted to clarity, and clarity is built through reflection. So don't just work hard. Think deeply and capture your journey in writing. Because the more self-aware you become, the wealthier you will be. Living below your means is a cornerstone of building lasting wealth, yet it's one of the hardest habits for most people to embrace. The truth is, your income alone doesn't determine your wealth. It's how much of that income you keep and put to work that creates financial freedom. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you save and invest consistently over time. I've seen many people get caught in what I call the lifestyle trap. They earn a little more, and suddenly their expenses grow to match. New cars, bigger houses, fancy gadgets, sometimes all to impress others. But wealth isn't about applause or keeping up with the Joneses. It's about freedom and security that lasts beyond the next paycheck. Wealth is built quietly, often behind the scenes, through disciplined spending and smart saving. Cap your lifestyle spending at about 60 to 70% of your income. This is a practical figure that allows you to live comfortably without extravagance while leaving a significant portion, 30 to 40% free to invest in your future. This leftover money is your financial seed, your tool for growth. When you spend less than you make, you create a surplus to put toward investments that multiply your money stocks, real estate, retirement funds, or a business. When I began my journey, I had very little. I didn't buy the latest fashions or the newest car. Instead, I focused on putting money aside, even when it felt tight. It wasn't glamorous, but it was necessary. Each dollar saved was a brick laid on my financial foundation. The discipline to say no to short-term pleasures for long-term gain is what separates those who accumulate wealth from those who accumulate debt. Living below your means also means you're not a slave to your income. When unexpected expenses arise or income fluctuates, you have a buffer. You aren't scrambling or adding to debt because your lifestyle demands it. Instead, you have the freedom to adapt and focus on growth. The wealthy don't spend to impress. They spend to expand. Their money serves a purpose-building assets, buying time, creating freedom. Every purchase is weighed against whether it moves them closer to their financial goals. And that mindset is a game changer. Remember, wealth isn't about deprivation. It's about prioritizing what matters most. The pleasure of financial security, the peace of mind in knowing you have options, and the ability to create opportunities for yourself and those you love. That's the real reward of living below your means. Start today. Look honestly at your expenses. Cut what's unnecessary. Redirect that money toward your future. Wealth grows not from how much you make, but how wisely you use what you have. This simple principle is one of the most powerful tools in your financial toolkit. When you learn to live below your means, you give yourself the freedom to dream bigger and the resources to make those dreams real. Delay gratification is one of the most powerful habits you can develop on the path to wealth. It's simple in theory, but challenging in practice because it asks you to choose long-term success over immediate pleasure. Yet, this choice is the secret that separates those who accumulate lasting wealth from those who live paycheck to paycheck. Think about it. Every time you resist the urge to buy something unnecessary or to spend impulsively, you are planting a seed for your future. It's easy to get caught up in the satisfaction of instant gratification, the new gadget, the night out, the fancy meal, but those small moments add up. Each indulgence takes away from what could have been invested or saved, delaying your financial freedom. The truth is, wealth is not built overnight. It's constructed daily through consistent sacrifices that may seem small but compound over time. When you choose to delay gratification, you're training your mind to value what matters most: the financial independence, peace of mind, and opportunities that come from having resources available. I remember when I was starting out, it wasn't about how much money I earned, but how much I kept and invested. There were times when the temptation to spend on comforts or entertainments was strong, but the commitment to my future vision kept me disciplined. I would remind myself that short-term pleasures are fleeting, but the freedom that wealth provides lasts a lifetime. Delay gratification also builds character. It strengthens your self-control, patience, and ability to plan ahead, qualities essential not only for wealth, but for success in every area of life. When you train yourself to say no today so you can say yes to bigger opportunities tomorrow, you're laying the groundwork for exponential growth. This doesn't mean life is about constant sacrifice or deprivation. It means you make conscious choices. You prioritize what aligns with your goals rather than what merely feels good in the moment. When your purpose is clear and your vision strong, it becomes easier to resist distractions and focus on what truly matters. In the market of life, impatience is a costly buyer. The wealthy understand this and play the long game. They invest steadily, nurture their skills, and keep their eyes on the prize because they know that wealth is the reward of discipline, not impulse. So today, start practicing delay gratification. Before spending on anything outside of your essentials, ask yourself, will this move me closer to my financial goals, or will it hold me back? Let your answers guide your actions. Over time, this habit will become second nature, and the wealth you build will be the testament to your self-mastery. Remember, the ability to wait is the ability to win. It's not about how much you earn, but how much you keep and grow over time. That makes the difference. Delay gratification daily and watch your financial future unfold. There's a simple truth that many overlook. Money is attracted not to effort, but to value. And the value you create is directly proportional to the size of the problem you solve. If you want to increase your income and build lasting wealth, you must shift your focus from small tasks to bigger challenges, those problems that truly matter and affect many lives. Think about it this way. Solving a minor inconvenience might earn you a few dollars, but solving a significant, pressing problem can earn you thousands, even millions. The wealthy don't chase money, they chase solutions. They ask themselves, what problems are others ignoring? What needs are unmet? Where can I make the biggest difference? Because where problems exist, opportunities for wealth abound. When I started, I quickly learned that it wasn't about working harder, it was about working smarter. I asked myself, who can I serve? How deeply can I solve their problems? This mindset led me to seek knowledge, build skills, and position myself where my efforts would have the greatest impact. Whether it was helping people communicate better, improve their financial habits, or grow their businesses, I realized that the size of my income would be limited only by the size of the problems I could solve. The marketplace rewards those who offer solutions at scale. This means thinking beyond your immediate circle or small transactions. Look for industries or communities where pain points are common and urgent. This might be financial insecurity, health issues, education gaps, or inefficiencies in business. The deeper and wider the problem, the greater the reward for solving it. Solving bigger problems requires courage and creativity. It means stepping out of your comfort zone and thinking innovatively. It means educating yourself and continuously improving so you can offer unique solutions others can't. Remember, the greatest fortunes have been built by those who saw what others missed and took action. But solving big problems is also about serving others. Wealth is attracted to value because value is about improving lives. When your mindset shifts from, how do I get rich, to, how can I help others succeed, you open the door to both financial and personal growth. Helping others overcome challenges creates trust, reputation, and opportunities that money alone cannot buy. It's also important to be patient. Bigger problems aren't solved overnight. And the process involves persistence, learning, and sometimes failure. But with each attempt, you get closer to a solution that truly matters, and the financial rewards will follow naturally. So, ask yourself today, what bigger problems can I solve? Where is the pain that I am uniquely qualified to ease? How can I expand my vision beyond small, immediate gains to lasting impact? When you make solving big problems your mission, wealth becomes a byproduct of your service, creativity, and dedication. Remember, the size of your income will always be limited by the size of your problem solved. Think bigger, serve deeper, and wealth will find its way to you. When it comes to building wealth, one of the greatest misunderstandings I've seen is the expectation of quick results. People want instant success, rapid riches, and overnight transformations. But lasting wealth is not microwaved, it's slow cooked. It requires patience, discipline, and a mindset that thinks in decades while acting every day. You see, the truly wealthy don't chase short-term gains that disappear as quickly as they arrive. Instead, they focus on building something that lasts a legacy that outlives them. This means thinking beyond the immediate paycheck or monthly budget. It means envisioning where you want to be in 10, 20, or even 30 years and aligning your daily actions to that vision. When I first started my journey, I understood early on that wealth is not an event, it's a process. It's the result of consistent small steps taken day after day, year after year. Each act, whether it's saving a little money, investing wisely, learning a new skill, or building a relationship, adds up. It compounds, just like interest in a bank account. Imagine planting a seed and expecting a towering tree the next morning. That's not how nature works, and it's not how wealth works either. But if you nurture that seed daily, watering it, protecting it, giving it sunlight over time, it grows into something strong and fruitful. Wealth is exactly the same. It's about planting good habits and tending to them consistently. Thinking in decades means making decisions today that your future self will thank you for. It means saying no to fleeting pleasures and yes to long-term benefits. It means investing in your education, health, and relationships because you understand they are the foundations of lasting success. This mindset shifts your perspective from living paycheck to paycheck to creating a future where money works for you, not the other way around. At the same time, thinking in decades does not mean procrastination or laziness. On the contrary, it means acting daily with purpose and urgency. Every action you take today is an investment in tomorrow. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start where you are with what you have. Consistent, purposeful effort compounds over time in ways you cannot always see but will surely feel. I've seen many people give up too soon because they expected immediate results. They lost patience and missed the opportunity to build something meaningful. But those who persevere, who focus on daily progress, eventually enjoy the freedom that only long-term thinking can provide. So, adopt the mindset of a builder-own who lays brick after brick with care and vision. Recognize that wealth grows slow but steady, fueled by your daily choices and habits. Keep your eyes on the decades ahead while moving confidently in the steps you take each day. Remember, wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. Think long-term. Act daily. And watch the power of compound effort transform your life over time. One of the most powerful secrets to building lasting wealth is that growth doesn't happen by accident, it happens by design. I've seen it time and again. The wealthy don't stumble into success. They schedule growth into their lives as surely as they schedule meetings or meals. Growth becomes a non-negotiable part of their day. Too many people expect growth to come, like a visit or something that shows up uninvited, unexpectedly, and changes everything. But growth is a process, and like any process worth pursuing, it requires planning and discipline. If you don't intentionally block out time to read, learn new skills, network, and build your knowledge, it will never happen consistently. Life will fill your hours with distractions and urgent demands, pushing your personal development to the bottom of the list. I remember when I first began my journey, I made it a rule to read every day, even if it was just a page or two. Over time, those small intentional moments of growth turned into a vast reservoir of knowledge and wisdom that powered my decisions and actions. But that never happened by chance. It happened because I scheduled it. I treated learning like an appointment I could not miss. When you block time deliberately for your growth, you signal to yourself that it is as important as any other commitment. Whether it's 30 minutes in the morning for reading, an hour every week for networking, or attending seminars and workshops regularly, these actions compound to build the mindset and skills needed for wealth. The wealthy understand that their minds are their greatest asset. They invest in their education not just for a season, but throughout their entire lives. Growth is ongoing and consistent. It's the steady flow of new ideas, insights, and connections that create opportunities to multiply income and impact. Growth scheduled into your calendar becomes a daily reminder that your success is your responsibility. You stop waiting for motivation or inspiration to strike and instead create the conditions for success to thrive. It's like planting a seed and watering it regularly rather than hoping it rains. I challenge you to look at your daily and weekly schedule. Are you scheduling growth or letting it slip away? The path to wealth isn't paved with luck, but with deliberate actions taken consistently over time. When growth is scheduled, it becomes inevitable. When growth is ignored, so is your future. Make a commitment today to block time for growth. Protect that time fiercely. Treat it as sacred. Remember, wealth is not just about money. It's about becoming the person who can attract and manage wealth. Growth by design is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Take charge of your learning, networking, and development. Build your future by design, not by default. When it comes to building lasting wealth, one of the most important habits is to reinvest your profits rather than spending them all on consumption. The moment you start earning money, you have a choice to make. Will you spend it on things that depreciate, or will you put it to work by buying assets that grow in value? Wealthy people understand that every dollar earned should have a mission, a purpose beyond just padding the bank account for a rainy day. I've seen this play out many times. Early in my life, when I began to earn more, I could have easily upgraded my lifestyle, buy a nicer car, bigger house, or more clothes. But instead, I made a different choice. I decided to reinvest what I earned back into assets that would generate more income in the future. This meant buying books, investing in real estate, purchasing dividend-paying stocks, and building scalable business ventures. This decision changed my financial trajectory. You see, money working for you is the key to financial freedom. If you spend every dollar you make, you remain dependent on that paycheck. But when you reinvest your profits into income-producing assets, your money begins to create more money. This is the true power of compound growth. Your assets generate income, and then you put that income back to work again. It's a snowball effect that over time can create a financial avalanche. The wealthy don't get rich by chance, they get rich by choice. They deliberately funnel their earnings into assets like real estate, index funds, dividend stocks, or scalable businesses. These are things that don't just sit there, they generate cash flow, appreciate over time, or both. Investing isn't about timing the market, it's about time in the market. The sooner you start, the more time your money has to grow exponentially. I remember a time when a mentor told me, "Don't buy liabilities when you can buy assets." It was a simple lesson, but it stayed with me. A liability might give you temporary satisfaction, but it drains your resources. An asset puts money back into your pocket consistently. This mindset shift, seeing money as a tool for building wealth rather than just for spending, was revolutionary. The truth is, reinvesting profits requires discipline. It means resisting the temptation to upgrade your lifestyle with every raise or bonus. Instead, you focus on long-term goals, knowing that the sacrifices you make today will pay dividends tomorrow. It's not always easy, but it's necessary. Remember, wealth is not built on income alone. It's built on what you do with that income. If you want to change your financial future, Commit to reinvesting your profits into assets that build value over time. Start small if you must, but be consistent. Your financial freedom depends on it. Make your money work as hard as you do. Invest wisely, reinvest often, and watch your wealth grow steadily and surely. When we talk about building wealth, it's easy to focus only on the here and now, on our own needs, wants, and comfort. But true financial success reaches beyond the present moment. It touches the future, long after we're gone. That's why creating a legacy fund is not just a financial strategy, it's a profound mindset shift. It's the understanding that wealth isn't merely for consumption, it's for contribution and continuity. The idea of a legacy fund is simple. Set aside a portion of your income dedicated not just to your own benefit, but to your family, to causes greater than yourself, and to generational wealth that can support those who come after you. This isn't about charity in the distant sense only. It's about building something that lasts, a foundation that strengthens and empowers the next generation. I recall early in my journey, I realized the importance of this. Wealth, I understood, is not just about what you can enjoy today, but about what you leave behind. Money can be a tool for education, for opportunity, for change if we use it wisely. This vision changed the way I approached money and savings. I began to think about my children's children, about the communities that shaped me, and about the causes that reflect my values. A legacy fund is your financial footprint. It's the vehicle through which your values, wisdom, and resources endure beyond your lifetime. When you make this commitment, you're shifting your perspective from survival or even just success to significance. This requires intentional planning. You decide what percentage of your income is dedicated to this fund. Perhaps it's small at first, but consistency and growth over time turn it into something powerful. This is the art of thinking beyond yourself. The wealthy understand that true prosperity isn't just personal accumulation, it's about enriching others. It's about building a future where your family won't have to struggle as you did, where your values are passed on through the opportunities you create. Think about it like planting a tree under whose shade you may never sit, but future generations will. It's not always the biggest sums that make the biggest difference. It's the habit of giving, of investing in others, of thinking long term. Some will say this isn't about money. It's about legacy. But legacy is built with money when money is tied to purpose. When you create a legacy fund, you're not just saving money, you're crafting a story of care, foresight, and impact. If you want to build wealth that lasts, start today by carving out a legacy fund. Make it non-negotiable. Make it sacred. Your life's work deserves to echo beyond your years. Build for your future, your family, and your world. Wealth that lasts is wealth that gives, and that is a truth no one can take away. When it comes to building lasting wealth, relying on a single source of income is like putting all your eggs in one fragile basket. The wealthy understand this deeply. They know that true financial freedom comes from creating multiple streams of income. It's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter and diversifying your sources of earnings so that money flows to you from various directions, even when you're not actively working. I learned early in my journey that focusing solely on one paycheck, one job, or one business was a trap. Life is unpredictable, jobs can vanish, businesses face downturns, and markets fluctuate. But multiple streams create a safety net, a web of financial security that can catch you when one source slows down. Building these streams doesn't mean diving into complexity right away. Start small. Master one income stream. Maybe it's your primary job, a side business, freelance work, or investing. Once that is stable and producing, begin laying the groundwork for another. The power is in scaling slowly, steadily, and intentionally. Each new stream you add compounds your wealth-building power. Think about this. When you have income coming in from multiple place or rental properties, dividends, royalties, online sales, consulting, you create a scenario where your money works while you sleep. You free yourself from trading time for money, and instead, your assets and efforts generate ongoing returns. I remember the lessons that came from diversifying my income streams. One of the most eye-opening moments was realizing that passive income, earned without daily effort, was a game changer. Whether it was earnings from investments, business partnerships, or intellectual property, this passive income helped me weather storms and invest further. The key here is to keep the streams manageable. Don't spread yourself too thin. Choose opportunities that align with your skills, values, and long-term goals. Build each carefully, with discipline and patience. Riches aren't built overnight. They're built brick by brick. The mindset shift is crucial. Many people think of money as something you chase daily, but the wealthy think of income as a river steady, flowing and growing over time. Multiple streams ensure that river never dries up. Begin by assessing your skills and interests. Can you teach something? Can you create a product? Can you invest in assets that pay dividends? Can you generate rental income? Each stream should have a purpose and be nurtured like a growing tree. Remember, the goal isn't just to earn more, it's to build security, freedom, and the ability to live life on your terms. When your income isn't dependent on one source, you gain control over your time and your future. So start where you are, build one stream well, then add another. Over time, your streams will multiply, your income will grow, and you will sleep more peacefully, knowing your financial house is built on a solid foundation. Wealth isn't a one-track race, it's a journey with many paths. Choose to walk more than one and watch how your financial life transforms. When it comes to wealth, too many people get caught up chasing a number in their bank account or the latest symbol of status. But true richness isn't about flashing cars, big houses, or expensive watches. It's about something far deeper: peace, freedom, and the ability to make a meaningful impact. You see, wealth is not just a destination. It's a feeling and a philosophy that lives in your soul. I've met many who were rich in possessions but poor in spirit. Their wealth was a cage rather than a key. So, before you chase money, take a moment to define what being rich truly means to you. Is it financial freedom, the ability to wake up and decide how you spend your day without worry? Is it peace of mind, knowing your family is secure and your future is planned? Is it about making a difference, contributing to causes that matter, or leaving a legacy for the next generation? This clarity becomes your compass. When you understand what wealth looks like inside you, it changes how you think and how you act. Suddenly, money is no longer a goal in itself, but a tool to create the life you envision. In my own life, this realization was pivotal. I remember when I first started, I thought wealth was about making as much money as possible. But over time, I learned that wealth is about balance. It's about freedom to learn, grow, and enjoy life. When I focused on what I truly wanted, peace, time with family, the ability to give, I found a richer kind of success than money alone could provide. This shift in thinking helps guard against the endless trap of comparison and competition. Instead of chasing what others have, you follow your own path defined by your values and vision. Your financial decisions become aligned with your soul, not just your ego. Defining what rich means to you also protects you from distraction. When the world tempts you with the shiny and the superficial, you have a clear reason to say no. You learn to live with purpose, spend with intention, and invest in what truly matters. So take the time to reflect on your definition of wealth. Write it down, revisit it often, let it guide your decisions every day. Wealth is not just a number, it's a state of being. When your money matches your meaning, you'll find true freedom and fulfillment. In the end, money without meaning is empty, but money with meaning is powerful beyond measure. Choose to build wealth that feeds your soul, not just your wallet. Every successful journey requires checkpoints, moments where you pause, look back, and adjust your course. Wealth building is no different. If you want your money to grow, if you want your life to change, you must make reviewing and reflecting a weekly habit. Without it, even the best plans can veer off track. Think about it. If you don't know where you stand financially, how much you've earned, spent, saved, or invested, you're flying blind. You can't improve what you don't measure. The simple act of checking your progress once a week creates clarity, accountability, and motivation. In my own experience, this weekly ritual became a cornerstone of my success. Each Sunday, I would review my financial dashboard: income, expenses, investments, and net worth. I'd reflect on what worked, what didn't, and what I could do better in the coming week. This wasn't about perfection, it was about progress. Reflection fuels momentum. It keeps your vision sharp and your decisions purposeful. When you see that you're moving closer to your goals, it builds confidence. When you spot leaks or distractions, it helps you course correct quickly. It transforms vague wishes into actionable steps. Most people live month to month, overwhelmed by daily chaos, never pausing to reflect. That's why their financial life feels like a roller coaster, up one day, down the next. But when you commit to weekly reflection, you create a rhythm of responsibility and growth. It's like watering a plant regularly versus hoping it will grow on its own. I recommend setting aside 30 to 60 minutes every week for this practice. Use a simple journal or spreadsheet. Write down your income, expenses, and savings rate. Check your net worth. Ask yourself honest questions. Am I sticking to my budget? Am I investing consistently? Are my actions aligned with my vision? Celebrate even small wins. Success is built on the compounding effect of tiny improvements over time. Each week's review is a reminder that your wealth isn't accidental. It's the result of deliberate choices. This practice also strengthens your financial philosophy. Reflection invites learning. You see what habits support growth and which ones hold you back. It makes you smarter and more disciplined. It turns money management from a chore into a powerful tool. Remember, wealth is a journey, not a race. The most sustainable success comes from steady, thoughtful progress. Reflection is the compass that keeps you headed toward your destination. So make this commitment today. Every 7 days, sit down, reflect, and review. Watch how this simple habit transforms confusion into clarity, fear into confidence, and dreams into reality. Wealth grows where attention goes. Make your weekly reflection the place where your attention flourishes. Consistency in reflection builds mastery, and mastery is the foundation of lasting wealth.